make sure you're giving as much as you can to across your organization to all the other team members, um, and then you will see a larger influx of support for your own projects. So talk to people.
Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer. Welcome back to Impactful Engineer. Today it is just myself and Jake, and it is our new format of what's been on our minds lately. So I'll go ahead and start. Jacob, what's been on your mind lately?
Oh, lots of stuff, Stephen.
Oh, great.
But
Let's dive into it.
yeah, sure. I don't know if we had to just choose one. I mean, there's always things going on at work. I'm constantly thinking about how do we improve, who's thinking about what. One of the things that happened this week that I've had, good conversations with my colleagues is that we should be constantly thinking about and evaluating the costs of our actions, right? How does it affect the other team members? How does it affect the product? And in my case, it's design for buildings. How does it affect the stakeholders like, the owner and all the people that are funding this project? Um, but mainly, our focus was around how are we affecting each other with our actions at work?
Yeah.
And this one concentrated mainly on managing projects. So we have been big lately on resource planning. And resource planning, of course, is very important. It's never perfect, but you try to get there. You chase perfection so that you have the best possible outcome. So we spend a good, individually, probably an hour to 2 hours a week thinking about workload, scheduling things, trying to anticipate. And then as a group, we spend an hour every Friday huddled together talking about what has gone well in the week. Also, what do we have coming up for next week, right? Very simple. Lots of people do that.
Yeah.
But we get together as a team in our department to discuss these things. This week was a little shaky. Some things happened that were surprises. Some things that seemed to come out of nowhere, but when we talk about it and look back, they did not come out of nowhere. There's things that we can definitely do to make it so that they were avoidable, right?
Mhm.
So that's been on my mind, and it's a good one to talk about. We can put blinders on individually to how we're affecting the workload of other people in our department through the actions and decisions that we're making on projects. Because we're all running around talking to our own project managers who we're accountable to. And then those project managers, and I'm talking about, our clients, project managers, talking about schedules and everything like that, are, they're not talking to each other, of course. They're completely separate entities. So it's our job, the person that's talking to this PM, to bring it back to our people and go, okay, look, this is what we figured. This is where the schedule needs to be. This is how much work it's going to be. And we're trying to do that at a super high level,
Yeah.
which gets a little vague. But what I'm talking about is doing it in an individual and even office based, the people you work with the most. That's where we're spending a lot of our time. So, we debriefed about what we can do to make better decisions, that and thinking 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks in advance, right? And it's easier said than done, of course. But there's specific things that you can do to help yourself out. So I guess that would be, a great topic for today.
Yeah.
And if anything pops into your head, interrupt me. and you can bring those up. I have just a few bullet points that I can go over, and hopefully somebody gets some value out of it and can start implementing it right away
Yeah.
in their
So
own work.
are you having troubles with um, each one of these project managers? Right, they're different for a different customer, correct?
Yes.
And
Some of
so
them are repeats, but
yeah, in their head, you know, the resources at your company are allocated to your to their projects, right? And so they're, hey, this should take 8 hours to do, so that's a day. But what they don't see, because they're the customer, is that resource that is working on their project also has, you know, 6 other projects or whatever it is, to work on that they also have deliverables on. And so it's your job to manage each customer expectations of like, okay, how much work can your company put in towards their projects, at any given moment, right? Or like the level of intensity that you can put into it, and coordinating those deliverable dates based off of other projects that you have across the organization. Is that kind of one of the struggles you're running into?
it's something that we're not handling to the utmost 100% of our ability, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because those PMs assume that we're allocating the correct resources at the correct time. They have to make that assumption.
Yeah.
But to your point, they think 8 hours is 8 hours, and it's like, okay, 8 hours from me hanging up the phone is done.
Yeah.
Not really, right? This
Yeah.
is eight
Exactly.
hours that we've determined right now that we are going to fit in next week sometime,
Yes.
and it'll be 2 hours here, 3 hours there, the remainder there, and then we will update you and get you the result,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most people understand that, but we have to really start leaning into that a little better because sometimes we can convince ourselves that something can only take so many hours and that it'll immediately get done and there's no way it'll take longer than a day. I'll have it to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's irresponsible. Um, unless, of course, guys, there's context and there's situational strategic thinking that you
100%.
have to
Yeah.
make. Okay. But let's just please put that to the side right now and just focus on uh, the direct impact and the things that you can do to create a better impact, to
Yeah. Yeah. One of
alleviate
the
resource scheduling problems, right?
Yeah, I think one of those things is what I've noticed on product development side is, you know uh, an engineer, say a design engineer, will have 5 projects that they are working on at any given point, and all 5 projects have deliverables at by the end of the week. Say, um, some engineers will like to just work off a priority list, and I'll work on this hot topic, and then all of a sudden this hot topic pops up, so I'll jump over there and work on that, and then another hot topic comes up, and I'll jump over there and work on that. Um, and while on surface level, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's great. He's hitting all the high priority stuff, first, and then all the lower priority stuff later." The problem with that is every time you transition from one project to another, or a task to a different task, there's like this gray zone of time, right? That you have to download and re-upload into the next project for your focus, and getting your mindset situated to working 100% effectively on that project. There's like a good 15 to 30 minute window that is wasted transitioning in between projects. Obviously, some people are a little more efficient at that, and they can jump between projects a lot quicker. Some people can't. They really have to, like, okay, I need to dig into details and see what I need to remember what I was working on. And so if you jump from one project to one project to one project to one project all in the same day, you're only getting like half a day's work done in that day because of that transitional period. And so something that I've found pretty effective is only put down a short list of what you're going to do that day and segment it in blocks. If you have meetings, great. Condense them all in one little chunk and put them in the middle of the day or the end or the beginning or whatever it is. And then you have 2 or 3 hour chunks here, here, and here to work on this project, or this project. And if you don't finish like a certain task on this project, oh well, you're gonna do that the next day's block of time for that project. You need to transition, go to the other block, and focus 100% on that project. And when fires come in, you'd be like, "Great, I see that's a fire. Um, I will look into it during this fire mitigation block that I have in my schedule, and I will address it there and assign a block of time for me to focus on that."
Hey, my fellow impactful engineers, if there's one thing that you could do to help out this community, is to keep listening to the podcast, but also that if you found value in it, to share it with one person, give us a 5-star review, or even leave a text review. It'll only take a few seconds of your time. Find that person that you think could enjoy some of this or learn from it, and pass on the good word. Now back to the show. Yes. Yeah. And people object to that. Let me make time for the fires. Nothing in this industry is an immediate actual firefighting operation where lives are at stake.
Yes.
You have to be able to set aside time to evaluate and either handle or delegate fires at a certain time of the day.
Yeah.
And do not allow yourself to train other people that you are available at a moment's notice with a huge fire and that you will drop everything, because then that's what they'll expect in the future.
Exactly.
Right? Very, very, very few things are actual fires. So just keep that in mind. So I want to, and everything that you said, there's a cost to switching, right? Everything you said is very good. And it can lead to a huge discussion on task switching versus multitasking. And if you don't know the difference, we'll cover it probably in another episode. But multitaskers think they're multitaskers when they're actually great task switchers, and then great task switchers think they're multitasking. And there's costs associated with that. And so that would be a great episode we'll cover in the future. What I want to switch to is more about how do we do our best to fight this industry standard, especially in my industry, the MEP industry, if you want to call it that. It causes late nights, and being behind schedule is a normal feeling and a normal thing. Okay. But what we should not accept this as the status quo. We want to be working towards eliminating the late night work, right? And the feeling of being behind, because those two things just cause you to do shit work. It just is. That's the way it is. And it's beneficial to no one. So while you will never completely eliminate that, you should always be working towards moving the needle in the right direction as much as you can. And so let's cover just a few bullets how to actually do that. So the first one that comes to my mind is to demand performance out of those who you are working with, say an architect, structural engineer, the owner, whoever. Demand that they keep up with the project schedule and let them know if they are doing something that is going to hold that up, because they probably don't even know or realize how important it is for that one thing you're waiting on that you sent one email about 2 weeks ago that you didn't follow up on, or you didn't impress the importance of with the person you're communicating with. One very easy thing you can do is follow up every few days on this very important project that you have to get the very important information you need so that you can meet the very important schedule, right? So you need to help those people help you, help the team get the job done on time, whilst not blowing up everybody else's schedule because you haven't communicated properly when you need information and it's all come to a head and you can't get more time, right? And then you've just got to rush to the end. And that seems, I've seen it a lot. It seems to be the normal. So fight against that with strict follow-up, impressing the importance of getting the information. We all know sometimes you're just not going to get it. But you can at least tell them, we are going to blow past this barrier because we're not getting the information. And we understand it's hard to get, but we're going to make these assumptions and we will move forward. And we're not going to consider having gotten that information as a critical piece of moving forward anymore. We're going to take our assumptions. Do you accept the assumptions? And we need an answer on whether you accept our assumptions or that you have the actual information we need. We need an answer on one of those by 2 days from now so that we can preserve the project schedule. If
Yeah.
you want to wait and try and gather the information because maybe the construction schedule is not as important as you thought it was, maybe you have time, maybe something changed, I don't know. But you let us know if we can extend the schedule, because as soon as we get this information, we'll need 3 weeks to finish it.
Yeah.
And then they can at least make an informed decision. So the key is communicating your, requirements of the people around you and holding them accountable to that. And communication really is the key.
Yeah. I think an additional step you could take there is you can ask them, it's like, hey, um, I need this critical piece of information to move the schedule along. Is there something that I can do, someone I can call or ask the right questions to that could either help you or take over whatever you need to do to provide that information? Maybe they're having a hard time finding the information needed or getting someone else, like if it's their superior or whoever, to make a decision. Maybe you can step in and provide that additional support to help them be successful, to then turn around and help your timeline keep going.
Yeah, that's a great point. You can always reach to the expertise of your company or the experiences that you have and the skills that you have to help them make the decision for you so that you can continue to work.
Yes.
I do see that all the time, and it's not used enough, actually.
Yeah.
And the key with that, again, is what? Communication, right?
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And if someone's not responding to your emails, call them. And if they're
Mhm.
not responding to your calls, I don't know, text them,
Yeah.
fax them, run over to their office where you know they are and say, hello,
Yeah. And if
this
they're
is
remote,
important. I'm here.
yeah, if they're remote, video call.
Yeah.
You're going to have a much better conversation if they can see your face and you can see theirs, than just an audio only call. You're going to have a much more effective and speedy conversation that way, because the amount of information you're taking in with your eyeballs is a lot faster than what your ears can take
Yep. And one more thing I'll say about this particular point is that don't let anyone tell you that you're being too aggressive.
in. Mm-hmm.
If they're saying that, ask them why they think we're being too aggressive and how would they handle it, because if they think you're being too aggressive, maybe they know more than you. And this is a teaching moment. And you could say, well, how should I handle this?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's my concerns. Either they explain your concerns away and you learn and you're not going to be as aggressive on that exact same point the next time, or they'll have a better way of handling the situation. But stand your ground until you've been, one, convinced otherwise, right? Or two, given what you need to continue.
Yeah.
Right. So I've seen that happen. I've seen where it's like, oh, well, I don't know if I should be saying these things or if I'm asking for too much. Someone else is handling that, right? I mean, really, I could say all these things, but it's not really my particular job to get these things going.
Yeah.
No. It is everyone's job at all times, right?
Exactly.
And if
Especially if
it's
you have the
not,
capability.
exactly. And if it's not and someone's going to get annoyed, figure out why they're annoyed, figure out what they would like you to do in the future. And then if their answer doesn't satisfy your questions, that's another conversation that you need to have until you are satisfied.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I know you're telling me to kind of back off. I might be asking for too much. We never ask for that, blah, blah, blah. But then you need to tell me what I should do, because I won't be able to get this done
Mm-hmm.
on schedule without this information. What's the gap that I have right here? What am I missing that's supposed to allow me to do this? And they should be able to answer that.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. It's better to be um, overly intense to accomplishing the goal than to be overly passive. And then people are like, why didn't you ask that question? Why didn't you make that call? You know,
Mm-hmm.
It's better for them to go, hey, I appreciate that the follow up, but I will get this to you by this date. Like, great, thanks for letting me know. And now I know, and I can plan for it. It's but if you're not in their inbox or on their phone or whatever, asking for that deliverable, then they're going to assume that, oh well, this is really low priority, so I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and keep working on something else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that
And
happens all the
I've
time.
been in both situations where it's like, why weren't you asking these questions before?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in the position where it's like, man, you're asking for a lot. Like, can you cool the jets a little bit?
Yeah.
I'm much rather be in the seat of can you cool off a little bit, because inevitably at the end of the project, when you do have a chance to speak candidly with each other, like after and do a debrief or like ask for feedback from everyone on the team, everyone always appreciates an over communication from the team than nothing at all or
Exactly.
too little. So just remember that.
Yep.
All right. So the next bullet point, I guess I would say, is sometimes we can convince ourselves that the job is small. Oh, that's a small job. Ah, it'll be all right. And so you think you got it, and then you never actually go through the steps that are a part of every single job, no matter what the size. And then within those steps that you're not doing because it's a small project, you hit something inevitably that stops you dead in your tracks,
Mm-hmm.
needs a question to be answered.
All of a sudden, it's a
It
big
will
job.
take a week, because when you ask someone a question or request information from somebody, they've got a million things to do. And when you're on the tight deadline and you're close and you've spent 3 weeks doing nothing because this was a small job, and then you need to ask all these hard questions and have an emergency meeting, guess what? Everybody has to scramble just to accommodate your request for information,
Mm-hmm.
and it ripples into the team again.
Yeah.
So when you have a small job, do not let it fool you and paint you into a corner, resource wise and time wise.
Yeah.
Do all the same steps at exactly the same time, percentage wise, that you have for the project, i.e., early on at certain times to ask certain questions and get through those. Then, if you get through all the major hurdles in the first week and you got 3 weeks left and it's a small job, then yes, you can put it off for 2 weeks and finish it in the last week because you have everything already.
Yeah.
So,
I think a really good example for just the real, even entry level, like product design type engineers, right? Or really any engineer that does drawings, right? This is a real common one. It's, oh, I don't need drawings until this gate in the process, and it's out here somewhere, and I'm way back over here. And but if you have the ability to do those drawings, do them now. Get them done, and then just sit on them, because everyone knows that does drawings, um, that drawings take a long time to do, even for the simplest parts, or simplest schematics, or whatever. And so if you are waiting to the last minute to do a drawing stack that has 80 drawings, and you have a week to do them, it is almost guaranteed that all these other things are going to pop up instantly that you need to take care of, and you have 80 drawings to accomplish in a week. That's a long time of just putting effort into drawings. So if you have the opportunity to do those drawings way earlier in the process, even though they're not needed till way later, do them now. Get it over with, because drawings are typically it depends on the industry, but a lot of times they're pretty low priority until about halfway through the project, and then all of a sudden they're really important. So,
mm,
just want to throw that example because I've seen it a million times. Um, it's a very simple, tactical example of what you're saying.
yeah. And if people who have the position to delegate, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
would think about those things as well as the individuals thinking about them, you're never, well, I can't say never. The likelihood that you're going to be really behind diminishes big time.
Yeah.
So get ahead on the small things. Delegate the things that are small but that need to be chipped away as the project moves forward. So drawings is a funny one to bring up because, of course, in this industry, it's like drawings are everything. That's what we deliver,
Yeah.
right? It's not paper anymore, but it's still drawings, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be ahead on that. And one of the things that can really bite you is just what you said. Oh, this is such an easy job. It's going to be 2 sheets. We can get it done. And then you go to open the model and it says this file's corrupt. And it's like, oh, why is the file corrupt? Oh, okay, let's think about Oh, man, it's telling me I need to actually reload somebody else's model. Oh, the link's broken. Shit. Okay. We need to call the whoever, the architect, let's say, and relink. Oh, well, they're on vacation. Oh, well, that's cool. Who else in their company could link this up for us? And you're scrambling. Get it done before the shit hits the fan, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and be working towards getting those little things done early, you know? I think we can't hammer it enough. I was gonna say, oh, we probably hammered that one enough. No, we can't hammer that enough. It's gonna get you. So think about it.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So that's kind of the small job mentality. Just like you got to get out of that. I would say the next thing is to hit the things soonest that will hold you up the most.
Hmm.
Right, early on in the project timeline, and most of those things are things that you definitely know will happen on every job. Some things surprise you, and surprises are okay. Completely unavoidable things are not okay to have come up. So hold that list of the things that have burned you in the past. Hit them on every project in the beginning, and when someone says that's not important right now, you say yes, it is. We should be thinking about this, and I want it by this date. We should be here, or the project schedule is going to be in jeopardy, right? So don't let people convince you that things aren't a priority when you know they're a priority. And it's okay to fight back on that, right? And I would definitely do that. And I would say the last one and the most important one and my favorite, of course, is to remove all excuses, right? Remove all excuses. Stop saying that, oh, well, this got in my way, or this person didn't do this, so I couldn't. Remove excuses and move towards the goal in the most strategic way you know how. By doing all the things we just talked about and more. There's a ton more. I could talk about this for a very long time. Keep moving, move fast, be strategic, identify problems early, and just be agile. And don't ignore the things you know that are important, because you've been convinced that they aren't at the time.
Yeah.
So just doing these things that we talked about right now in earnest with 100% effort and conviction is going to help you be so far ahead, and you'll be the whoever's favorite consultant. You'll be ahead of the game. You'll be helping move the entire project forward, even though it's technically not part of your job to do that. Um, the response to that kind of work is really, really good. So if you want to be a star in your client's mind, do it. If you don't, well, then don't do anything I just said. Go for it. Hey, that's what's been on my mind. And how do I know all these things and that they work? Because I've been the person that's been shit at them before, and I'm good at it now. So,
Yeah.
plain and simple. What's been on your mind, Steven?
Oh man. Well, speaking of things that we've been shit at before and we've learned a lot, it's kind of transitioned to what has been on my mind a lot lately. And you know, I'm a team manager, right? So I manage a team of engineers in product development, and I've only been in this role for 3 or so years, um, within two different companies, and I still view myself as someone who has a lot to learn. And I feel that as I keep progressing, I learn how I've done things in the past terribly, and but it's good because of back then when I was managing a smaller team, I was like, oh yeah, uh, this is not so bad. I'm making the right calls and all this stuff. But then now I'm like, oh, I was so bad at what I was doing. Um, but anyways, kind of getting off track here. Um,
Continuous
uh,
learning.
huh?
Where are you getting to?
Yeah, no.
I like the
Um,
reflection. I like the looking back because
yeah,
truly, as you level up, you're looking back, going, "Oh man, I could have done this and this and this." Not necessarily that you were completely fucking it up back then.
yeah,
It's just that, oh man, I see things a lot clearer now.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know what I
could have been
mean?
doing a lot more. And actually, we already touched on this. One of the things that I learned recently is how to, reach out to other people that I'm expecting things from, and asking them how to, like, if there's anything that I can do to help them accomplish what I've been waiting for, right? So
Mm.
before it was a, well, I'm waiting on them to get me this information so we can move this project along. Um, but now it's been a learning moment where now I'm to the point where I do reach out and be like, hey, what is holding this up? Is there something that I can do to facilitate it? Is there something that I can offer, or is there someone I can call that can get you the information you need to make your decision? Um, and that's why I kind of brought that up earlier, is because that has been part of what's been on my mind, as far as growing as a team manager. When you're an individual contributor, you're more focused on what you're producing. When you're a team manager, you're more focused on, like, coordinating everyone's productivity to accomplish a larger goal, right?
Mm.
And so you can't think as tactically. You have to be more broad in your vision of how things are moving. You have to see what other teams are working on and how they support your team's efforts, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um,
The awareness of that is
yeah.
very important.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's it sucks sometimes because, as a mechanical engineer, I love getting in and designing things and figure out how things work, or doing analysis and all that stuff. It's fun, right? I mean, that's why I originally went to engineering school. But you can't do that as a manager. You have to leverage your experience to help guide, younger in their career other engineers, the ones on your team or other teams. If they have questions, you have to leverage your experience there. But you can only dip down and into the weeds for just a little bit, and then you have to come right back up and see the bigger picture. And
That's
that takes a lot of practice. That's a lot of reps to get really good at that. I found in the
mm.
past that I would dip down in the weeds and I would stay there way too long, and then you start losing track of the projects in, over here, or on another team, and then you go, oh crap. When is that deliverable due? Oh crap, that was yesterday, and then you have to come back up, and then you're scrambling, and you run around like a chicken with their head cut off. So that's I mean, I that is not like a new revelation, but it's something that, within the past year or two, that's been a huge growth moment for myself.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I see that happening to some other people. I mean, in every company that I've worked for, people need to learn to stay out of the weeds when they're that long tenured, heavily experienced, technically an
Yeah,
expert in the thing that they're overseeing the production of.
yeah,
They will they need to stay out of the weeds and they just get into it. And I mean doing the most basic of things that entry level people come in to do because they haven't allocated the resources, number one, or have waited too long to delegate.
yeah,
And then I think the main one is they still feel the obligation that they are the ones that need to get the job done no matter what.
Yeah.
And then they take it upon themselves to get it done. And then you have this very high value individual that can do very, very many things that nobody else can do, working on something that everyone else can do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
And
it's a
even
very bad situation to be in.
yeah, even if that high value individual can do a certain task faster, better, higher quality, or whatever, it they should not be doing that unless it's there's no one else to do it, um, and it's
And,
a mission critical task.
and
But
let me butt in. Let me butt in real quick.
yeah,
Do not use the I'm the only one that can do this right now
yes,
excuse, because it will bury you.
oh
And
yeah,
you will believe it every single time because you've created it for yourself.
yeah, yeah. And what you need to do is leverage that experience to coach and bring up your direct reports to be effective in those roles.
And guess what? Do it early, do it often, and
And
do it
when
while everything's on
yeah,
fire.
I was just about to say that.
There's never going to be a good time.
Yeah,
Delegate it, be on fire, get the job done. Don't hold on to it. Do it yourself, be on fire, and get the job done.
yeah,
You can have the same result. But with the other one, with the delegation route, there's going to be someone learning.
yeah,
And in 6 months, that's not going to be an issue anymore.
exactly.
You can
And they can
delegate it
just
and it comes
tackle
back
every time.
85% done.
Yeah,
Right. Right. It's a trap.
it
That's
is.
that's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah,
We're too
and
busy. We have too much work. I got to do it myself. No.
yeah,
Stop it.
and then another thing that kind of ties into that is when you're you know when you're a manager of like a direct team, right? So I'm an engineering manager, right? The role above me is like director of engineering, for
Hmm.
example. If my ambition is to move to director of engineering, there is no way that I can proceed upward to that role if I am not developing the team below me to be more effective than myself in not only the individual contributor roles, but also the role that I am currently in.
Hmm.
You have to bring people up to fill your role, to take over your job, essentially, for you to have any upward mobility. Um, I see a lot of people running into that trap of being scared. Oh, that they're after my job or they're going to take over my job. It's like
Mm.
no, you want people to take over your job because that's the only way you're going to move up.
And even if you want to stay in that engineering manager role and you don't want to move anywhere, that's great.
Yeah,
You're still going to do the same exact thing because if you're not developing the team beneath you, they are going to move somewhere else because I can guarantee you that they want to move up
yeah,
and it's not going to be your job. So then it's going to be someone else's. And then you're going to have a new set of teammates
yeah,
underneath you that, again, know nothing, right? So if you're not, and you're not going to have a whole team be replaced at the
yeah.
same time. If you are, that's a problem with your organization. You need to think a little more about it.
Or it's a
So
problem
if
with you.
you, or it's a problem with you and they all want to leave.
Yeah,
But sticking on the track of being productive and not getting into the weeds, if you're training all of your direct reports and delegating and really doing the job of coaching, then you're going to have one that splits off somewhere else. This one splits off here, but then the third one that's going to stay around for a while can then teach the incoming ones and bring them up to speed really quick. And you have this ever evolving door of or
mm-hmm.
rotation of people coming in that can help teach, bring up, and then produce other
Yeah,
leaders. And then they come in and they're all doing the job super well for you as the engineering manager. But if you are doing all the tasks that they should be doing and you're not thinking about what you should actually be doing at your level, you're you're hitting yourself from multiple angles that is stifling you.
yeah,
Even if you want to stay in the same role,
yeah, and also you to be able to stay out of the weeds more, you need someone who can operate at a higher level, but still within the weeds. So an individual contributor that is a higher performing individual that can handle some more of the tactical management duties. Leading meetings, um, you know, being the technical expert for various aspects of whatever field you're in, being that point person of expertise within your individual contributing team that can do more of the weeds expert stuff, so you can do better planning, be higher level, and focus on more of the team development and how the project management and how the team operates.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What else you got, Steven?
What else do I got? Well,
We could riff on this all day long, but we're
yeah,
coming up on time here. What do you want to leave these guys with?
I think a good action item
Yes.
for this one, and I know you love action items, is to reach out to anyone that you're waiting on or is supposed to be giving you something like information, a drawing, it doesn't matter, and ask them how you can help, or or if there's anyone that could help them that you can have influence to push towards that way, and just talk to them. You could even see if there's anything they need from you, to move a different project along that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
That reciprocity goes a long way. So even if you think your project is the most critical thing in the company, in their mind, whatever their highest priority is going to be the most critical thing in the company. So make sure you're giving as much as you can to across your organization to all the other team members, and then you will see a larger influx of support for your own projects.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to people.
Talk to people. I like it.
Yep.
Mine, I think, is going to be create a list. So create a list of those things that you need to follow up on that are critical. Actually follow up on them. Do what Steve said to build that relationship. Um, Creating that list is going to help you gain an overall understanding of what pushes projects forward too. Even
Yep.
if you're not the guy that's supposed to be doing the pushing and following up and trying to figure things out, if you keep this list going for each project that you have of the critical path items, you're going to start seeing things show up more than once, right? You'll start seeing these patterns. It's only going to help you wrap your brain around the way that projects are supposed to be managed before you're even close to being slotted for project management. So it'll help you in the long run. Create a list. Keep a running list. When things should come in, who's doing it, what the information is useful for, and follow ups. So that would be my action item. Create yourself an Excel spreadsheet. Doesn't take very long.
I love it, and I love Excel.
Useful
What
for
an
so many
engineer
things.
doesn't.
All right, guys. Steve, you want to close it out?
Yeah. So if you have any comments, questions, please leave them where appropriate. If you have ideas for topics, also send them our way. Um, and we look forward to talking with everyone another time. Thanks.
Peace. Hey, guys. I hope you had a great time listening. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you got inspired, or at least took one thing away that you'd be able to use. Maybe you just had a good laugh. Impactful Engineering's hope and mission is that through this podcast, we can play a small part in expanding the reach and awareness of engineering and all of its many areas of application. The multiple engineering career paths available can be hugely rewarding as part of a fulfilled life, creating opportunity to impact nearly everyone in the modern world. An engineer's work helps to foster creation of new technologies, creates safe and comfortable environments in which people can work, and lends to the sustainable future of everyone on the planet. The world needs more impactful engineers. Our vision is to provide engineers with the perspective and the tools to allow themselves the opportunity to become the most impactful engineers they can be. Included in our vision is to grow the impactful engineering community to a point where we can provide full ride scholarships to students in every single U.S. state every single year. This is an enormous goal, and with your help, we can get there. To start, we will continue to execute this mission in the way that we know how, having conversations, telling stories, and talking about what we find interesting and are passionate about. If the episode made you think, made you object, made you think you could possibly be doing something more with your day, or brought about an idea that you could spend more time on developing further, please share the show or recommend it to your friends. Even if you didn't personally think it was a huge help, there may be someone that you know that could benefit from it, and that's all we can ask for. Until next time on the Impactful Engineer Podcast.